Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 7-Minute Spotlight. I'm Steve Crawford, and today we're going to take a look at a story, again, for inspiration or impact. And this story is something that involved my father and people that he worked with. My dad's name was Al, had a trucking company, and the trucking company that we had, we were a small connecting carrier, and we worked with a bigger company. And there was a fellow that was a driver at the connecting company named Ray, and Ray knew me somewhat. He knew my dad probably better than me. And I'm going to say I was in my 20s. This took place in the 70s. I was in my 20s. Ray probably was in his late 40s, something like that. And my dad, of course, owning the business, we had interaction with Ray, and Dad knew him and his abilities. And the company that we worked for, the company that we owned, had just a very small team. The company that we were connected to was a large trucking company. They had a Teamsters union contract. They had all the work rules, different things. And one of the things that they had was call it a pivot point, where they had two drivers that lived in the same town. One went east 250 miles and back, and the other one went west 250 miles and back. Used the same truck. They could cover a route. Round trip was 1,000 miles in a day with one truck, two driver. Very, very efficient way to do things. And when one of those drivers was on vacation, then somebody would come over from the town that we were in, Aberdeen, and substitute. And Ray had many opportunities to do that. And one of the things that happened is, it was kind of a surprise to many people, is that Ray didn't appear that he had a drinking problem. And I don't know to this day that he did. But the event that happened at the hotel in this location is he had a few beers, and he also was a smoker. So he smoked a cigarette, had fallen asleep, and set the room on fire in the hotel. Well, that caused a big termination problem with him, with his company, and union disputes and everything like that, until finally, at time for settlement, for some reason, they ended up consulting with my dad. Now, my dad had been a Teamster for 22 years, spent 4 years in management and trucking, and went out and started his own business. So Dad really was knowledgeable in those areas. And I remember Dad telling me about it after the fact, that he had been asked to go to this hearing and just present what he knew. And he said that it appears that this man has learned his lesson. He's a capable driver. He knows what he's doing. If he has straightened out his act, I don't see any reason why you can't give him his job back. Well, based on that and some other things, Ray did get his job back. That's a nice story. But where it really gets good, and it means a lot to me, move ahead now to 1993 in May. My dad had passed away, and we're at the funeral. Ray came up to me at the funeral, tears in his eyes, and said, "Steve, your dad changed my life. Your dad stood up for me when nobody else would, and it gave me a second chance, and I've been able to get to where I am today because of your dad." Obviously, that's not an exact quote, but it's the exact context. And that had such a powerful impact on me to know that after my dad had passed, something, by this time I'm 40 years old. Ray is probably, late 50s, early 60s, something like that. That you could hear the impact of that story and know that what we do and what we say and how we act really matters, not just to ourselves, but to others. So what's the lesson here? For me, and I think for all of us, when can we step in and help? Sometimes it's a word, it's a recommendation, maybe it's a smile and a thank you. We might be the only ray of sunshine. We might be the only reflection of Jesus that anybody gets on that particular day. Now, Ray's life was changed. The spiritual context is that Jesus changed our lives. We all have a second chance through Jesus. Ray got a second chance in his job, not through my dad, but Dad's support, Dad's encouragement. But Ray took the steps necessary to straighten out his life, to make something of himself, and went on to, I know he retired from the industry, and whatever happened to him after that, I have no idea. But I do know that he credited the actions and the words of my father that had an impact on his life. And I think that word impact, there's two I's, impact and influence. What can we do to impact others? What can we do to influence others? Because some people might need a shove, other people need a gentle nudge, but we need to be sent in the right direction. And sometimes we can be, inert. We are just sitting, not getting anything done because we don't know what to do. And somebody comes along and makes a wonderful, passionate, but maybe sensitive suggestion, stands up for us, speaks up for us, gives us a chance, and that can impact our life. It can change our life. And then it gives us the opportunity to do the same thing for other people. We'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Or has anybody had a similar situation that they'd like to feed back to us? That would be great. We have our contact information always on the screen. But remember, as we go through life, we have the opportunity to say and do things. And if we are intending it to be for good, that will be the outcome. And if we intend it for harm, that'll be the outcome. And we should not be intending anything for harm. But sometimes we miss the boat and do nothing when a little bit of effort may make all the difference in the world. Let's think about that. Let's see if we can have that permeate our life, not just today, but always. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for joining us. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.